Yo, what's going on, your boy Ghost, and today I am bringing you guys a video that I have not made in quite a while, which is a settings video. And I want to make this video because, well, for one, I haven't made one in like over a year, I think, or probably a little bit less than that. And sometimes I get the occasional question on what my settings are or what are like good settings. And I want to make one, or next, an updated version. So, you know, if you were ever curious about my settings or in general, like some pretty good settings, you would have something to refer to. And also, with the Vanguard integration coming around on the corner, man, you gotta make sure that you set up right. So when you get in the game, man, you're gonna be able to fry off day one. And with this video, I'm hoping that you'll be able to find some success with it. These are my settings too. I don't really think it's really important. For the most part, I feel like mine are pretty generic settings, but you may be curious, and we're gonna go over the settings today and their significance, I guess. But anyways, man, speaking of settings, let's get into the first set of settings. And here we have the control settings, which are probably the more important ones that I'm going to be showing today. I am missing a few settings. Like if you watch other settings videos out there, they're probably on PC, so I'm going to be missing quite a bit of settings, like graphics and FOVs and stuff like that, because, you know, I'm not on PC, I'm on console. So really, this is more like a console settings video for a lot of my console players out there. And for starters, I want to talk about my button layout. So my button layout, you guys saw, is stick and move, which normally stick and move isn't, you know, the default one. Default is the default one. And people might be a little confused as to why I'm using stick and move, and to be honest, that really just stems back from Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare, the Jetpack Call of Duty days, where I wanted to jump shot a lot easier, but I didn't have enough money for scuff, and so the next best thing was to use stick and move, and for some other people out there, bumper jumper, which are the two combinations that are probably the best to be able to just kind of have a scuff without having a scuff, if that makes any sense. But in this game of Warzone, jump shotting isn't really a big deal because we're on the ground. But jumping in this game does play a significant factor in just the overall gameplay experience, because when you slide cancel, you do the jumping animation, or at least you press the jumping input in order to complete your slide cancel. And being able to jump easy, like with, I guess, an easy button press of like scuff users, you have your paddles and whatnot, it makes it easier to just move around. And if you can't have a scuff, or you know, you just can't afford one or a battle beater, I would definitely recommend using a different button layout like stick and move or bumper jumper to see if you can just make the movement a lot easier for you. And in turn, you'll be a lot better because your movement will be smoother. And in this game, movement is pretty important, but that really just comes down to personal preference. If you had the luxury to be able to get a scuff, then I guess I would maybe recommend it. I don't really think I would ever need a scuff, but maybe some of you guys might. You know, I don't know, but that's all up to you, man. That's really just personal preference. But anyways, man, moving on over to the next set of settings, and that was on the controllers, was the sensitivity. So for starters, we have 7.7, which is pretty generic. Everyone either uses 6.6, 7.7, or for some of you crackheads like, you know, 10, 20, or whatever. But 7.7 is for me. Sometimes I go to 6.6. At this point, I've been rocking 7.7, and I've just been messing with it. And then we got the ADS sensitivities, the low zoom, which is 0.90, which is also universal. Everyone kind of really runs that from like 0.85 to 0.95. That's typically what people run. High zoom, now that one's a little bit weird because I don't really understand. I've never really understood high zoom, and I think at only times it really maybe matters. Oh, actually, no, I think it matters when you use 2 times scope. I'm not entirely sure. Don't call me. High zoom, I just use 1.05. I can shoot straight with it. That's what I use. I used to use 1.1. I moved back to 1.05. In reality, all you need is like from 1 to 1.15, and you'll be straight. And then the dynamic aim assist. I don't really know what that does, but everyone runs it. I don't really know if it even makes a big of a difference, but if you don't have it on, just in case, just put it on so you know you don't get caught lacking. And then lastly, the Deadzone. Deadzone is 0.05. If you can, try to make it as low as, or try to get it as close as possible to 0. But I know a lot of my console friends out there, especially PlayStation, we have stick drift, and so you know if you do it too low, you're gonna have you're gonna literally be looking right without you even moving your analog. So you gotta be careful on your dead zone. Make sure to have it between like 0.05 to 0.10. Don't try to go any higher than 0.10 because that's when it starts getting weird. If you can get to like 0.05 or 0.043, like that's where you want it to be. Like 0.05 is like the safe one, but if you can get it under there, you'll be alright. And then quickly, the movement settings towards the bottom of that controller screen. I want to briefly go over those settings because I'm sure most of you guys already have these anyway, but for the people that don't, I want to make sure I get you guys right. So for starters, for the slide, what's the word? Slide behavior. Make sure you have that to tap instead of hold. And lastly, we have the automatic texture. Make sure you have that on. Again, 99% of you guys already have this, but if you don't, man, you're literally handicapping yourself by not having these settings on. Yes, it's possible to have good movement without those settings, but you're just making it harder on yourself. And before someone in the comment section is gonna be like, "Oh, I could do it fine with just those settings," well, good for you. But most people that don't have those settings probably can't. So make sure you have that on. But anyways, man, let's move on over to the next set of settings. And here we have the general settings, and to be honest, there's nothing too important here, except for maybe like the mini map shape, which again, most of you guys already probably have it as square. But for starters, we have the brightness at the top, 50. I don't move it. I think I tried moving it because the sun was too bright. It didn't really work. My colorblind type is whatever that word is. I don't know why I actually ended up moving that, but I decided to. I guess it looked good. I don't really have a reason for it. I just still have it on. And the motion blurs, which I'm sure most of you guys already turn it off, but for the players, when I see some clips on YouTube, man, I see people with motion blurs still on, and it just makes me like, why, man? Just turn it off. I feel like you would have a better game experience if you just turned it off. But that's not really up for me to decide. If you like motion blur, you're a psycho, but I guess you like it. And then for the mini map shape, man, we have the square instead of the circle. I still also see modern day usage of the circle minimap, and I don't understand why. I don't understand why the default has not become square, because the circle, man, it's just like, it's you, if you're not using square, you're putting yourself at like a mini disadvantage. It's not the crazy disadvantage out there, but like, bro, you just see more with the square minimap. Why would you not want to see more? Like, I don't get it, bro. But anyways, man, moving on over to the last set of settings that I have is the audio. And here we have the audio settings, and to be honest, bro, these settings to me, I feel like get dismissed very like frequently, just easily. Like, people just don't really give it any thought when playing Call of Duty, especially when a new COD comes out and you're getting on your settings. Like, you just want to play the game. I feel like these like audio settings don't really like, you know, people don't really care. But with Warzone, man, like, you should care, because sound horn in Warzone specifically, I guess in Call of Duty in general as well, it's a very big part of this game, and any little noise that you make could either get you killed, or you might be able to kill an enemy if you just hear them slightly. And you'd be surprised how much a top player can actually hear. Like, I'm not saying I'm a top player, but I'm a pretty decent player myself, and like, just the process of hearing and just hearing any little bit of movement, bro, like, you'd be surprised, man. It is absurd, man. And I know that you might think that's crazy, like, you might never experience it yourself, but maybe that's because you just never had the right audio settings. But anyways, let's quickly go over them, because I feel like if you don't have these yet, man, I might be able to help elevate your game just a little bit. So for starters, we have the audio mix, and I use boost high. If you don't use boost high, you might be using boost low. It really depends on how your headset works with any of those audio mixes. But if you're using like default home theater, all those, man, you're literally trolling. And I know that seems kind of like crazy, but I feel like a lot of people don't really pay attention to that audio mix, and they don't really, like, you know, understand it. Because like in Vanguard, when you go to audio mix, they have headphones, TV, and all that. Like, it's a much more simpler, and it's a lot easier to understand. It's like, okay, if I have headphones, I should use this audio mixer because I have headphones. But with these are like boost high, boost low, like home theater, whatever. Like, you might be a little overwhelmed, a little confused, but I'm telling you, man, if you play with the headset, use boost high or boost low. It'll change your whole hearing experience. Now, for master volume, this can get a little bit tricky considering on what platform you're on. If you're on console, I would recommend 80 to like 100. I use 100. Like, listen, my ears, I'm gonna be deaf by like age 40. No cap. My ears are getting absolutely killed right now. But I'm hearing things, right? But on PC, I know, like, I see a lot of people that don't use 100 master volume because their whole audio situation is a lot like tougher. So 100 on PC is like way too loud. But on console, like, since we don't really have audio mixes, we don't really have mixers unless you use like the actual 840 mix amp or whatever. But a lot of us don't really have that, so we use what we got. And so I think 100 master volume is it. Now, me personally, I turn off music because I know we're going to there's music, and that can get a little, that can mess with your hearing process. Because chest, when I hear chest, when I'm in like a building, I hear chest, that messes with the whole like hearing process. Like, I might not be able to hear somebody because I got this little stupid chest music playing. And so when you have that normal Warzone music playing, that could be messing with your whole hearing process. And maybe some of you guys, you do enjoy that music, but I would recommend having that music from like 10 to 20. Like, anything over that, you might be, you might be pushing it. Now, effects and all that, like, that I stick to 100. When I play Modern Warfare multiplayer and I have to hear all those stupid score streaks, I would turn down my effect volume, I think, because that's what lowered the sound, or at least I thought it. I don't know. But now Warzone, I have it all the way up, so I can be able to hear anything. And then, lastly, we have the no hit marker sounds. And yes, I know I'm not using no hit marker sounds. I get when I stream on YouTube, bro. Someone always mentions that I don't have the like about my hit marker sounds. I'm like, yeah, bro. I don't like the Modern Warfare hit marker sounds. I don't like the class. I don't like any of that, bro. Yeah, I just like no hit marker sounds. Just leave me be. I would definitely recommend it to you guys out there, but some of you guys might actually like the hit marker sounds. So, you know, that's all y'all. But anyways, man, that's pretty much it. I didn't really mean to drag this video on, but I feel like I wanted to explain why I use certain settings. You know, I did want to show you, so hopefully you guys watch all these settings and stop to see them if you don't really care about the explanation process. But yeah, man, hopefully these settings can help you in just your Warzone experience. Hopefully you get some sort of improvement from any of these settings that I might give you. Granted, some of you guys may already have a lot of these settings, but with Warzone Pacific, you know, around the corner, hopefully this can give you a little edge. But anyways, man, thank you guys for watching. See you guys later, and I'm out. Peace.